this first one with Taylor Swift's very interesting. So, as you guys know, there was an absolute uproar when Ticketmaster basically crashed because Taylor Swift is apparently the biggest draw in the world right now. And right now, resale tickets have started to hit $20,000. I think you said that you saw them for $21,000.
No, more than that. I've seen the cheapest possible tickets for Taylor's concert are like nearing $400 in the nosebleeds. Sometimes up to...
She is tall enough that you'd be able to see her
approaching
for $400.
like $1,000 for nosebleed. And then at the good parts, like at the ground level seats, they're like over $22,000.
Holy crap.
And you know that this part of why this has happened is that Ticketmaster has secured a complete monopoly on selling these seats because they did a merger with Live Nation, which used to be their biggest competitor company. So they did this merger and now they're completely in charge, and people have to pay the same price for tickets that ticket brokers were paying before. And also, like, in the post-COVID world for like live entertainment, this is really not a good sign. And a lot of people were angry at Taylor Swift for staying silent as this was happening, because people who got codes for pre-sale tickets tried to use their codes and were booted off of the site and didn't get to buy them when they thought they would be able to. So now they're stuck with these huge resale inflated prices. So Taylor Swift has finally broken her silence on the matter, and she came out and spoke on this on social media because her fans were really furious at her. She said,
"Hold on.
Oh. What's going on?"
That was annoying. You're good.
She said, "It goes without saying that I'm extremely protective of my fans. We've been doing this for decades together, and over the years, I've brought so many elements of my career in-house. I've done this specifically to improve the quality of my fans' experience by doing it myself with my team, who care as much about my fans as I do. It's really difficult for me to trust an outside entity with these relationships and loyalties, and it's excruciating for me to just watch mistakes happen with no recourse. There are a multitude of reasons why people had such a hard time trying to get tickets, and I'm trying to figure out how the situation can be improved. I'm not going to make excuses for anyone because we asked them multiple times if they could handle this kind of demand, and we were assured they could. It's truly amazing that 2.4 million people got tickets, but it really pisses me off that a lot of them feel like they went through several bear attacks to get them." And I think I heard a number like 14 million people were waiting for the site, and only 2.4 million, I suppose, of those people got to buy tickets who thought they would be able to.
And her answer is basically like, I'm just going to do more shows.
She said, "To those who didn't get tickets, all I can say is my hope is to provide more opportunities for us to get together."
And I want to say this. In an age where Shawn Mendes and Harry Styles and Justin Bieber, not Harry Styles, but Justin Bieber and Shawn Mendes are like, "I can't do this concert anymore. I'm not feeling well." And Taylor Swift's like, "I'm going to do more shows."
Trooper.
Yeah. She's putting both of those guys to shame with her inability to seemingly take a day off. So props to her for that.
Yeah. So a lot of fans are still mad on Twitter because her statement was kind of nebulous and didn't provide solutions. This one said, "I can't support you celebrating your Grammy nominations and continuing to release remixes that fans are forced to buy while you stay silent on the Ticketmaster disaster."
That's not her job to solve that problem.
Here's it is actually. Here's why. She's the only person who has the leverage over this industry to change the situation.
Well, she can change.
And here's how she could.
Okay.
Back in 2014, she was releasing her album 1989, and she actually used the release of that album to change the music industry in the streaming world. She took off her entire discography from Spotify because she said that the royalties musicians get from people streaming off of the ad-supported tier of Spotify back then, the royalties were minuscule compared to the royalties they received from premium members on Spotify streaming their music. So she removed her entire discography from the platform. And then she did the same thing criticizing Apple Music in 2015 because they didn't offer the same royalties to artists for their own free trial period that they did for people before they got memberships.
Do you know?
So she said that she was going to remove her album 1989 from her catalog on Apple Music
Was
if
that when
they
it was
didn't
new?
change it. And then the following day, they changed the way that they pay artists based on the free trial users.
Was that when the album was new?
Yes.
So it was not an old release at that time.
It wasn't. No. Yeah. It was from her 2014 album.
Okay. And the controversy happened in 2014 around the time the album came. I'm only asking that because I'm
The
saying
Spotify controverscy happened around the time of 1989. In 2015, she made that open letter to Apple Music.
So how long had it been?
It was
out
less
by
than
that
a
time?
year.
Okay, I'm saying that this album is how old?
Which album?
The one that just came out.
1989 or
the one that just came out.
Midnight's is like a month old.
A month old. I don't know if she's going to be so willing to pull it.
No. She can't. What I'm saying is,
I understand
it's the
that, yeah,
same.
it's a different-
It's the same business maneuvering that she's capable of doing because she's such an industry power player.
How would they do that in this case then? I asked.
She proposed the fact that, she's taken so many of her operations in-house.
Mm-hmm.
She herself is a business and she employs thousands of people. And if she wanted to independently sell her tickets, she absolutely could do that. But she's decided to outsource this service to Ticketmaster, even though they hold a monopoly over that industry.
Yeah.
So she's being criticized primarily because she's on the side of a mega corporation instead of for her fans.
It says members of the Antitrust Division of the Department of Justice have in recent months contacted music venues and players in the ticket market asking about Live Nation's practices and the wider dynamics of the industry. This probe started before this happened, so they were already under investigation by the Justice Department.
Yeah, I think that the Attorney General of Tennessee is currently investigating Ticketmaster for antitrust violations.
Yeah. So I mean, that makes sense. They took over. I'm surprised it didn't happen to like WWE when they bought WCW back in the 90s.
It's just
back
like
in the late 90s.
When you could go the route of the government breaking up a monopoly, it's always easier if you have some ethical entrepreneur involved in the process to do it for them.
She could also keep more of the money if she did it herself.
Exactly. So I really don't understand the angle here. And her statement was just a nothing burger.
But is this happening?
It didn't offer solutions to the millions of people who were waiting to buy tickets that day and were screwed out of the opportunity.
It also speaks, though, to the speed of conversation now digitally, meaning like that might be in the works. For all we know, she could be in that process of working through it, but she had other announcements that needed to be made first that just couldn't wait.
Well, mainly it's people thought that she didn't have the foresight to fix this issue before it became one.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and now I'm just thinking like getting tickets to one of these concerts is going to become like a status indicator more than anything, because you're paying hundreds of dollars, close to $1,000 probably, if you include your travel expenses as well, to not see Taylor Swift from
close.
Like
close
to
up.
not see Taylor Swift in person.
Yeah.
Like you're paying money to be in the same building as Taylor Swift for a few hours.
I suppose there would only be a couple of musicians of that size that could afford to be their own Ticketmaster.
I was going to ask, is this something that's happening with Ticketmaster with other events, and we just know about this one because Taylor Swift has a huge
This
fan
really
base?
kicked off the controversy because she hasn't toured for a long time, and a lot of people were really eager to see her.
Yeah.
So whenever she put her tickets on sale, it was going to be a gigantic like madhouse.
I mean, if she's staying silent, it's because she doesn't have an answer yet, and it's not as good of an idea to just speak on it when you don't actually have a concrete answer to give, right?
But
Sure.
people are
I mean-
actually buying these tickets for this much?
Yes.
Oh
and that's
my
why
gosh.
I am like shocked because while we're in a recession,
Yeah.
this is turning into a special club for like elites who can basically put the equivalent of like a down payment on a home to see Taylor Swift in person for like 3 hours.
Take notice, Hollywood. Whenever one of your movies does bad and you're like, well, we're in the post-COVID movie era. No, you're in the I don't make good enough movies for people to watch era, because
Right.
Taylor Swift can get people to spend gazillions of dollars to sit a football field away from her and listen to her perform.
Essentially, Taylor Swift tickets are not even like physical entities. They are more like crypto.
Yeah.
Like you buy one of these tickets to resell it for a higher inflated price.
perfect.
It's literally like Ethereum or some insane obscure Bitcoin alternative.
Investment.
They can make NFT pictures of the ticket to go with it.
Insane.
Oh, gosh.
The situation is insane. So I mean,
all the crypto bros, the FTX guy is he buys a bunch of them.
He's taking
and
notes
them.
furiously
This
right
is
now.
sad though for all the Taylor Swift fans who want to just go to a concert that's a special experience, but also accessible for your average person.
This is clearly not.
Yeah, I mean,
and the state that the economy is in right now, absolutely
it's like
not.
a slap in the face.
I was grocery shopping the other day, and I'm like, ugh. I'm just maybe it's just what I buy, but I'm just now starting to feel the kind of the crunch of the prices of food going up more so than I was a couple months ago.
That's how I feel every time I buy a plane ticket.
Yeah.
I'm like, why is this double, triple the cost I remember it being a few years ago?
So great during COVID when you could travel for nothing because
Well,
all
back then,
my
not
trips
all of
during
the
COVID got
airports were
canceled,
open.
so I just stacked up flight credits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So would you go to see a Taylor Swift concert? You don't strike me as a Swiftie.
I would time travel back to 2009 and go to a Taylor Swift concert.
If someone invited me to one, I would go,
So
but it wouldn't be
away?
I'd be waiting on Ticketmaster to try to get a ticket.
I would literally never. But we were just on the show with Hannah Claire live on the Ticketmaster waiting list with her pre-sale code, and she couldn't refresh the page because she would get booted off the site if she did.
Wait, was Hannah Claire trying to buy some?
Yeah, and she actually was one of the 2.4 million people.
She got some
for whom it worked. So I don't know. Apparently, a lot of other people didn't get that.
Well, we'll have to get a review.
A concert review from Hannah Claire. Would be
and
great.
I don't know which.
Especially if we're not going to get Fast and Furious reviews anytime soon.
She said she was just going for nosebleed seats, and depending on the location that you're buying them from, they can vary a lot in price, but they couldn't have been less than $350 a pop. They're pretty bad.
Man, I wouldn't pay that much for good seats.
Yeah.
Is Taylor Swift a cultural? Is she something that can bring us together culturally, despite her politics? She seems to.
Is she woke?
I think she's decidedly not going to unify people.
Yeah, I'm just saying, clearly people are willing to spend insane amounts of money. I refuse to believe that all 2.4 million of those people see the world the exact same way.
Uh-oh.
What's wrong?
Aren't they all supposed to see the world the same way? Isn't that the whole woke thing?
Yeah.
Everyone's supposed to think alike, and if you disagree, then you're out of the cult.
2.4 million out of how many they're saying there were supposed to be?
I think 14 million is a number I saw.
I don't buy that 14 million
fake.
people see the world the exact same way.
I saw a tweet that said, look, I know Taylor Swift is a big deal, but 14 million people, though?
That's a lot of people.
Yeah, I don't know. I had a suspicion that this was some kind of PR ploy to inflate the demand.
There was this happened last year, right around this time when we did our first episode here almost a year ago.
Yeah.
And one of the things that was happening is when Spider-Man No Way Home was being marketed, when the tickets went on sale, people were reselling the tickets on eBay for thousands of dollars because the demand was so high to go see that movie. So it was kind of the same thing. So we'll see. I don't see Taylor Swift as culturally somebody that could bring everyone together. I'm just saying that I don't buy that. I don't buy that 2.4 million people all see the same.
Or 14 million.
Yeah, or any of that number. I don't believe anywhere between 2 and 14 million people see the world the exact same way. There has to be at least one person in there who's
I think she's mainstream enough that it varies a lot.
There's probably people in it strictly for the music.
You can go to a big rally where there's a bunch of people arguing and somebody just puts up a boombox and plays a Taylor Swift song and everybody gets along. How about that? Let's bring people together. No? Thanks for watching this clip, guys. If you want to see full episodes or follow us on social media, links are in the description below. Bye.